And coming at you from Beach Therapy. As you can see, I'm in my car, but I wanted to take a minute to talk about stress. And the reason I'm choosing this topic today is, of course, it's something that came up in one of my sessions that sat with me most of the day and got me really thinking about a more concentrated topic on stress, and that is coping mechanisms and things we use to comfort us through stressful situations, whether those situations are, we're going through grief, or we are, stressed out at work, or we're dealing with a child problem. The list goes on, so I don't need to name all of those, but the purpose is I started thinking about what kind of things people use in order to get through these situations. And if we're honest with ourselves, many times, not always, some of us have great stress coping mechanisms, but a lot of times, without even thinking about it, we develop these maybe bad habits. And part of that is just we don't have the skills yet because we start at a young age getting stressed out. So when we're 11 and 12, we don't have a lot of the skills needed to deal with the stressful situation. So we start these bad habits young, and then they just kind of follow you through life and you don't even think about it generally. So one of those I was thinking about was even comfort foods. So that means I was thinking about, like, okay, you have a horrible day at work, and I've never heard of somebody saying, I've had this really crappy day, I'm going to go eat this ginormous salad because it's super comforting for me. I've not heard anybody say that. Usually it's, man, I had a rough day, my kids have been talking back, work was terrible, I'm going to go home and I'm going to eat a giant bowl of ice cream, or I'm going to order a pizza and eat the whole dang thing by myself. Ain't nobody going to stop me. I'm going to feel better. And first, before I start with this, this is not a health lecture. I am not saying these foods should be cut out of your diet if you enjoy them. Even at my house, we have loaded nacho day. We have ice cream on the weekends. I do days where we're not eating the most healthy too. But I like to do those days in more of a celebratory way. Like on a Friday, I'll be like, let's order pizza. It's Friday. We've had this great week. Let's celebrate, getting through the week. Or it's the weekend, or today's a Wednesday and it was super hot today. Let's get some ice cream and just enjoy ourselves. Like, that is different than saying, we've had a really rough day. Let's drown our sorrows in this big bowl of ice cream. The reason I think that is so negative is because we are teaching ourselves and our children, or whoever we're around, that we can't deal with this sadness, we can't deal with this stress. What we need is these unhealthy things in order to make us feel better. And so I think it's just teaching bad coping skills, or not teaching any coping skills at all. It's the same with alcohol. Like, I'm not one to tell you when you should drink or when you should not drink. And I'm not one to lecture you about, I'm not going to say nobody should drink ever. That's not me. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to drink, or if you're going to have a glass of wine or a beer, or whatever it is your drink of preference is, do it in a celebratory way. Be like, we made it through a week at work and it's Friday, or, my friend just got a promotion, and it's okay to be social, I think, and do those things. But it's when, I've had a really rough day at work, I'm going to go get a six-pack, or, you know what, so-and-so, did this to me, and my kids have just been nasty, I need a glass of wine. I just think that's teaching yourselves and teaching those around you, again, that you don't know how to cope with stress, and if they want to learn how to do it, they need to also go and do these unhealthy things. So if you want to retrain your brain to healthy coping mechanisms, you first need to recognize what you're doing now and seeing if it's healthy or not. And sometimes it's hard to look ourselves in the face and say, oh my gosh, I'm doing a bad thing right now, or I've been doing this since I've been 12. I didn't realize that it was even negative. But we want to sit with those negative emotions and process through it, meaning even in the moment of going through grief, or going through sadness, or going through stress, or going through all of these negative emotions that cause stress, sit with it. Let yourself feel it, because the only way to get to the other side of it is to first process it and feel it, because it's a genuine emotion of something that you experienced. And so if you're genuinely feeling something from what you experienced, self-medicating with food, alcohol, or anything negative is not going to help you get through that any quicker. If anything, it's going to put a hold on that, because it's going to come back as soon as you're not feeling the effects of how you self-medicated it. So we may as well be as healthy as we can and not self-medicate at all. So just let yourself feel sad. It's okay. You just went through a really sad time. It's okay to be disappointed. You just had something happen to you that was super disappointing. Those things are okay, but we want to heal from them, so we want to be able to process them. We want to be able to figure out solutions for them, and we're not going to do that if we're medicating it with things that are just going to take our minds off of it for a moment. So, like I said, I'm not trying to lecture anybody on unhealthy habits, because like I said, we all have them in proportion to your big life goals. Like, I love eating healthy. That's what I do. I love fitness. I love all of those things. But we have moments in my house where I'm not eating healthy. My kids aren't eating healthy. And I feel like I'm creating good balance for them. I'm teaching them, this is how you keep your body healthy. But every once in a while, it's going to be okay for you to splurge. And my kids know that. They probably splurge a lot more than I do, but they still know that there's balance, and they'll lecture other people on it, like, why are you drinking that soda? And I tell them all the time, honey, it's okay to teach people that things are unhealthy, but don't judge their choices. Because everybody has a life journey, and we're all going to get where we need to go. It's just a matter of, do we want to do it quickly? And that's the processing thing. Do you want to process this quickly, or do you want to medicate it and make it take that much longer? So my challenge to you is to really look at those coping mechanisms when you're stressed out and see what your automatic reaction is, because that's usually the reaction that you trained yourself to do. And like I said, not everybody's is unhealthy, or maybe yours is healthy in some areas, but then you look at other areas and you're like, oh wait, but that's super not healthy. And look at that and challenge it and try and change it. That's my quest for today. I want us all to get on this, healthy brain, healthy mind, healthy life set. And the more we do that, I think the happier we're going to be. And if you or anybody is struggling in any way in life, one of my biggest things is I am more than happy to walk alongside you. But I'm also more than happy, if I'm not the right fit for you as a counselor, to go ahead and help you find somebody that is. Because that's part of life too. It's not all about, I'm the right counselor for everyone. But I do think everybody needs help most of the time, because we all need somebody that's going to listen to us and kind of help us along our journey. And it doesn't make us unhealthy people. If anything, it's something to be proud of, because you are working on you. So you can always reach me at mybeachtherapy.net, either to say, hey, let's set up an appointment, or hey, can you help me find somebody that maybe is going to be a good fit for me. In either way, I will smile my way through that whole thing, because I am just so proud of you for reaching out. Anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon and enjoy this beautiful day.